In this video, I will speak about the Mars effect, which is also called Kuja dosha or Mangal dosha. This is something that terrifies people across India. In almost all states of India, people who believe in astrology are terrified of this Mars effect, are terrified of this Kuja dosha, Mangal dosha. The reason why it terrifies people is that the Mars effect is linked to marriage. It is said that if a boy has Kuja dosha in his chart, should only marry a girl whose chart also contains Kuja dosha. Similarly, a girl who has Kuja dosha in her chart should only marry a boy whose chart contains Kuja dosha. Otherwise, something drastic will happen. Whoever does not have Kuja dosha may die, or something like that. So this type of campaign has been in force since my childhood in India, and I have seen several people or several family elders are trying to look for alliances based on that theory. Even today also, I know several people are looking for similar charts if their boy or daughter has Kuja dosha in his or her chart. But what is this Mars effect? What is this Kuja dosha? It is said that if Mars is situated in second house or fourth house or seventh house or eighth house or even 12th house from Lagna in a chart, it causes the Mars effect. It causes the Kuja dosha. Again, the same should be counted from moon sign, that is from Janma Rasi, and also from the natal Venus in a particular chart. That means if Mars is situated in second house, seventh house, fourth house, eighth house, or in 12th house, either from Lagna, that is ascendant, or from the moon sign, that is from Janma Rasi, or even from natal Venus. From any of these places, if Mars is situated in the said houses, it causes the Mars effect. No doubt that Mars causes dosha if it is situated in second, fourth, seventh, eighth or 12th house in a natal chart. But why people are terrified of this Mars effect? Because Mars is the most dangerous planet among all the planets. As I told in one of my lessons, that Mars stands first in the natural malefic planets list. And why its presence in second house, fourth house, seventh house, eighth house, or even in 12th house is dangerous. Because second house represents family, fourth house represents happiness drawn from family, seventh house represents married life, life partner and conjugal happiness, eighth house represents family for the life partner, and also it represents longevity of the native. That way it is important for both husband and wife. Again, 12th house stands for bed comforts. So in case Mars is present in any of these houses in the natal chart at the time of birth, it degrades the houses. It reduces the impact of happiness. And these houses are linked to marriage. There will be no happiness in marriage. That is the assessment. Of course, it is true also. But why only think of Mars and not other malefic planets such as Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and Ravi? Mars may be the most malefic planet, no doubt, and Sun is the least malefic planet. But in between there are three other malefic planets Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. Why consider only the Mars effect? And why people are not considering the effect of other malefic planets in these houses? Saturn effect, Rahu effect, Ketu effect. Why? Why the presence of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and Ravi is not considered in these houses for marriage? When Mars can cause negative impact on married life, why can't other malefic planets also cause negative impact on a couple? Of course, Mars is the most dangerous planet, and the negative impact caused by Mars will be higher than the negative impact caused by Saturn. If you want to consider the only Mars effect, you should also consider certain exceptions given for it. For example, if Mars is aspected by a strong Jupiter, or if Mars is associated with Jupiter, there is no Kuja dosha. It is very clear. It is also said very clearly that if Mars is present in second house in Gemini or Virgo, it causes no dosha. If Mars is present in the 12th house in Taurus or Libra, it causes no dosha. If Mars is present in the 4th house in Aries and Scorpio, it causes no dosha. If Mars is present in Cancer or Capricorn in the 7th house, it causes no dosha. Also, if Mars is present in the 8th house in Sagittarius or Pisces, it causes no dosha. Again, it is also said that whatever is the house, if Mars is present in Leo or Aquarius, it causes no dosha. There are several such exceptions given for Kuja dosha. But people are not thinking of the exceptions, but are very much concerned about the presence of Kuja dosha. Why? What is the use of it? When you are looking for alliances for your son or daughter, and when you are considering the Mars effect, you should also consider the presence of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and Sun in these houses. You cannot avoid considering these planets' presence in these marriage-related houses. They are also bound to cause harm to the married life of a couple. No doubt about it. As long as you don't consider the effect of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and Sun, there is no use considering the effect of only Mars, considering the presence of Mars in 2nd, 4th, 7th, 8th or 12th houses. If there is Kuja dosha, you can say it is there. If it is not there, you can say it is not there, except that it has no other value. If you don't consider the presence of other malefic planets in marriage-related houses, make it sure. So, when you think of marriage for your girl or boy, and when you are looking for compatibility, it is a must for you to see the compatibility of presence of malefic planets, all 5 malefic planets in marriage-related houses. You cannot avoid this. If you want to go for a marriage, just based on the star compatibility, it is up to you. But research has revealed that the percentage of failures is very less among the couples who tied the nuptial knot by opting for star compatibility and also negative points compatibility, that is dosha compatibility. If you want to go for only star compatibility, that is up to you. But the percentage of failures, the percentage of marriage failure is very, very less, minute among those who married after checking compatibility of both star and also negative points arising from the presence of malefic planets in marriage-related houses. Research has revealed this. But how to judge the negative points in the chart of boy and also in the chart of a girl for compatibility? How to do this? At the end of this video, I will present you a chart for computing dosha gunas, negative points. You can copy the table and calculate negative points whenever you need. Research has revealed that based on the temperament of boys and girls, it is said that boys can have 25% extra negative points than those of girls, but not the vice versa. Because the girl's temperament is different, boy's temperament is different. Just based on the temperament, it is said that boy can have extra negative points up to 25%. But if it crosses 25%, marriage is not to be permitted. For example, girl has got 100 points. Boy can have 100 points or 105 points or 110, but up to a maximum of 125. If it crosses 125, the difference in negativity rises abnormally and they cannot live together. That was clearly established in the research. However, I will make some amendments to this. Research has revealed that boys can have up to 25% extra than girls. That may be true, but nowadays I don't find the difference between the temperaments of boys and girls. Except the gender difference, there is not much difference between boys and girls these days. Whatever boys are doing, girls are also doing. When it comes to temperament, both have the same temperament. So, I can suggest up to 25% extra on either side. Marriage can be permitted. So, for a successful marriage, for a marriage to long last, you should look for star compatibility and also for negative points compatibility without fail. Because if you go for compatibility of both these things, the percentage of failure is very, very, very minute. Take it for granted. Of course, it is up to you whether you go for compatibility or not, or if you go for only star compatibility or only for negative compatibility. But you should have compatibility of both to make it sure that the marriage will last long.